Your Social Security benefit is likely going to be one of the biggest income sources that you will have in retirement. And so when you think about your Social Security benefit, there are a variety of things to consider. First, at what age are you going to retire? What is your life expectancy? Are you in good health? What is your survivor or spousal benefit? Will you work part-time in retirement? Have you worked for 35 years in order to hopefully get the most that you can possibly get out of your Social Security benefit? So when you think about Social Security, this should not be taken lightly. In fact, you should strategically plan for your benefit and how it will play a part in your overall retirement picture well before retirement. So we're going to dive into Joe and Debbie here. And we can see that today Joe and Debbie are 60 years old. Going into their income today, they are still working. Joe has a W-2 salary of $85,000 and Debbie has a W-2 salary of $40,000. And in retirement, the only income that they will have aside from their portfolio is their Social Security benefit. Going into their savings, today Joe has that 401k and he's actively contributing to that. And he contributes 5% because he's matched at 5%. And now today they actually don't have anything in a taxable account, but they would like to contribute $10,000 starting today into that taxable joint brokerage account. Going into their expenses, we can see here that pre-retirement they have expenses in the amount of $5,000 per month. And now if we go into their net worth, they have a total net worth of $747,500, $22,500 in the bank, $350,000 in Joe's 401k. Like we said, they're just now adding to that taxable account, so that will grow from today at the age of 60 until retirement at the age of 67. They will no longer contribute in retirement. And we can see here that the current value of their property is $375,000. So if we go into their goals, like we said, they would like to retire at the age of 67. And in retirement, if possible, they would like to spend $5,000 per month. They have an annual retirement health cost of $6,400, and they have a joint vacation goal in the amount of $2,000 every 2 years from their retirement at the age of 67 until the age of 80. Do keep in mind that these expenses, like anything else in this plan, are adjusted for inflation. And then they have a joint car goal. That just means that they would like to buy a car every 10 years starting at retirement for $25,000 today, adjusted for inflation up until the age of 80. So if we go into the retirement analysis, we can see that, hey, today, given these assumptions, they're in a pretty good spot. They have an 86% probability of success with $3.15 million in median ending assets. And we can see today that they are opting to collect their Social Security benefit at their full retirement age, which for Joe and Debbie is the age of 67. Going up here, if we click on Social Security, we can see here the optimal Social Security strategy for both Joe and Debbie. I'm going to use the cumulative cash flow comparison to give us a really good idea of what we're looking at here. So let's go into here and let's assume that, they elect to collect as early as possible. Maybe given their situation, their income needs, etc., it just makes most sense to collect at the age of 62. Now, do keep in mind they're working until the age of 67, so there's going to be a couple things there that we want to consider. But for the sake of this example, we can see here that at the end of the plan, at 90 years old, if we collect at 62, we'll have about $1.9 million in total benefits collected. Versus if we delay it until the age of 70, we'll have about $2.5 to $2.6 million. And if we see here, we can see that age 76 is the break-even point between as early as possible, that is at the age of 62, and the age of 70. So what that means is if Joe and Debbie think that they will live past the age of 76, it might not make sense for them to collect their benefit at the age of 62. We can see here that at the age of 76, if they collect at the age of 62, they'll have about $700,000 versus age 70 at $710,000. And then we see their benefit exponentially increases if they were to delay it until the age of 70. So now let's use their current strategy. Today, they are thinking that they will collect their benefit at full retirement age. Well, if we look here, we can see that age 80 is the break-even point between the full retirement age of Social Security filing strategy and age 70. What this means is if Joe and Debbie think that they will live past the age of 80, then maybe collecting at age 70 would be more beneficial for them. And so you can see right here that there are tons of different considerations and things that you need to consider before you just collect your benefit at a certain age. Does collecting at 62 make sense? Why? Does collecting at 65 make sense? Why? What about full retirement age or delaying until the age of 70? And from a benefit perspective, from the amount that they make from their Social Security benefit, we can see here clearly that delaying until the age of 70 makes most sense for them. If we go into the summary, we can see that if they delay it until the age of 70, again, they'll have about $2.5 to $2.6 million in total Social Security benefit. Now, if they collect at the age of 62, we can see here that they'll have about $1.9 million. So we're talking about close to, $600,000 less if they collect at the age of 62 versus the age of 70. So clearly, like we mentioned, from a benefit perspective, it makes sense to delay. But that said, there are, again, things that we need to consider. Will Joe and Debbie be able to live until the age of 80? Do they have health issues? Is their life expectancy much shorter than that? Do they have other income in retirement that they can rely on? Guys, this was just a quick video. The premise of this video is to show you that there needs to be a strategy around your Social Security benefit. You can't just collect at an age because you feel like collecting at that certain age. This could have big ramifications on your overall plan, especially your income plan in retirement. Guys, my name is Zach Carruthers. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much.